What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today we have to talk about Monica McNutt and Stephen A. Smith. Now, everything has been good with them. I think she's appeared on First Take a couple times after that big blow up, but Monica's been on a media tour, getting a lot of interviews, a lot of extra attention, and also let me say, she does a great job with Wale Serbiak and other announcers when she's covering the New York Knicks. Very knowledgeable about the game of basketball and really does a good job for her many different networks that she works at, right? But she says something that kind of caught some people's eye this week, and we're gonna just recap some of the things that's been going on. Her and Stephen A had an argument about the coverage of the WNBA and why they're now covering it because of Caitlin Clark.
Is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Stephen A, respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Really appreciate
you're my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot.
Stephen A,
Guys.
3 years ago, you would not talk about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
Nobody was, Monica.
Guys.
You making Stephen A's point, Monica. Monica, you making Stephen A's point.
You ever heard of Monica McNutt? You have now. Because she's on First Take a lot.
What was it like to critique your own network? Because that's really rare.
I was like shocked. I really thought I said water was wet. And Stephen A and I, we are totally fine. It's a debate show. We debated. But for me, it wasn't disputable.
Yeah.
And perhaps maybe you, as opposed to saying ESPN, draws some, crosses some feathers and gives people a little bit of an uproar. But 3 years ago, I mean, there were people internally texting me like, yeah, you're right.
Which a lot of women wanted to know, like, why wasn't the WNBA being covered? We've had players like Asia Wilson and others in the league that played at a high level for far too long. Maya Moore when she played, Tarazi in her prime. I mean, the list can go on and on. But Stephen A and First Take, they're trying to be the #1 show. And so the fact that they're able to cover it now the way that they can and have the platform they can, at this point is because they covered the hot topics and people like they've amassed that audience over the span of time by sticking to the hottest topics at the time, and Caitlin Clark has fused that, so now the coverage is there. Now you're hearing more about Asia Wilson and others, and there's no problem with that, I don't think. But Monica McNutt called out Stephen A. Smith for being jealous of his co-worker's salary to the Washington Post. And that's one of the things that Stephen A. Smith said about women in the WNBA being jealous of Caitlin Clark. And so when the Washington Post asked her about that whole thing, she says, "You mean to tell me that nobody in the NBA and NFL is jealous? Why is this a thing that women can't be?" Then McNutt added a kicker that cut directly at Smith's own jealousy as he seeks to become the highest paid talent at ESPN. The numbers he's going after because of Pat McAfee, Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, he might say they're raising market value, McNutt told Washington Post reporter Ben Strauss. But at the bottom of that is they're not about to get paid more than me. Sounds like jealousy to me, but I haven't seen Inside Out 2. And that comment right there has been setting the internet on fire, and it leads many to believe that things are still not right with them. She was supposed to make some appearances in August, but scheduling conflicts is what they're saying is the reason she didn't. But she still asserts, to the Washington Post, we don't have any issues. He's a machine. The news cycle kept moving, and he kept moving, as did I. So that's what she had to say about it. But those comments, as far as Stephen A. Smith seeking more of a salary, he's carried the network for years while they've been looking for new talent. When they still had Jalen and Jacoby, some of those other sports reporter shows, First Take really had it on their back. And Stephen A., I believe his radio show was coming on at one point. They even tried baby Stephen A. They were milking him like a cow at one point on the network. And he was covering games, sideline reporter, post game. He was doing it all. They was just putting him. He was wearing so many hats. So I think at this point he wants to get compensated. Only problem with that is they wanted to plug him, or he wanted to be plugged in over there at Monday Night Football, but it sounds like the crew of NFL players don't want him over there. They want knowledgeable people about the game of football to be covering it. They don't just want hot takes and loud talking and just generalized comments that don't really offer significant value to the game. So that's being reported, man. Monica McNutt came back at Stephen A. Smith and said he's jealous of those guys. I want to know what you think about this in the comment section. Let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.